Hello, my readers, and welcome to my podcast, Fictional Analysis. I am your host, Kajal, and I'm back with another episode today. And this time, it's a mafia romance. Finally. So, before we start, tap that follow button so you can know when I upload a new episode and listen to it. The name of today's novel is Born into Obsession by Sonja Grey. It's the eighth novel in the Melnikov Legacy series. It's a second gen series, and the real Melnikov series is the story of all of their parents. I actually kind of like this series as one of the biggest reason is because it is a second gen series. Let me explain that to you in detail. Suppose you read a book and you like that couple very much, but the book ends at some point, right? But you keep wondering what will they be like in the future, and that's when the next gen series comes in. On the life of the children, you get a glimpse of the life that your favorite characters are living, and that too as parents. And it's so good to see that after facing so many hardships and problems, they finally get to live together and live the life that they always wanted. Now, back to the book. The name of the characters are Nikita and Savanna. And for telling you a summary of the story, I will have to go a little back in the previous book. That is Sasha's and Cynthia's book. So, Cynthia and Savanna are best friends, and Sasha and Nikita are cousins. So, Sasha and Cynthia falls in love, and now you know how Nikita and Savanna actually meet. But there is someone who wants Savanna, and so they mix something in a drink which was meant for Savanna, but Cynthia drinks it by mistake in a party and she is kidnapped. But obviously, Sasha saves her, and then they get married and all. So that's how Nikita and Savanna meet at Sasha and Cynthia's wedding. They both like each other, love at first sight, but they both think that the other one is out of their league. Nikki is a brilliant hacker for the Melnikov mafia, and Savannah is studying in college to become a kindergarten teacher. At first, they are too shy and not sure whether the other one is interested in them or not. But one day, after a dinner set up by Sasha and Cynthia, Nikki goes to Savannah's dorm to check on her computer as she was having some problems with them and she was also not good with computers. And that's when they start getting close and meeting with each other. But the man who wanted Savannah is still out there somewhere. He calls himself Cupid, and Nikki is trying so hard to find him, but he can't. And then, when finally Savannah moves in with Nikki, her professor, who is also her mentor, calls her to discuss some problem regarding her research paper. So Nikki goes to drop her, but when she doesn't come back or answer her call or messages after about an hour, he starts to get worried. And when he goes to search for her and enters the professor's office, he finds her bag and phone thrown on the floor. He understands everything immediately, that who actually Cupid was, or rather is. Now, Savannah is trapped in a basement and Nikki doesn't know the location of it. But he finds the idea to track her location, and it's a very good idea, I have to say. And it's not finding her location by hacking into the Cupid's system or anything like that. But you will have to read the story to know what he actually did. And then she was rescued, and at the end, get to know that she was pregnant, and they get married. So this was the pretty much summary of the story. Now about the things I liked. I liked the character of the male protagonist, that is Nikki. He doesn't need to shout or yell threats to show his power. It comes off him in waves. It doesn't matter that his work is not in the front end, like directly fighting or anything like that, as he's always on the back of his computers, but he is not weak. The female protagonist was also quite good. I won't say there is anything extraordinary in the story, but it was good. The story, however, lacked spice. I didn't find any scenes to make me squirm. It was just there, but nothing new. The story also lacked action, I think, as there was only one time when Savanna gets kidnapped that we get some action. But other than that, there's nothing new. There's nothing related to mafia life in this story, but this series is a mafia series, but this particular novel is not, as there's nothing mafia related to it. It's a pretty decent story, but we don't get anything extraordinary in it. Like it's at the first they talk to each other and then slowly fall in love, and then she moves with Nikki, and then she gets kidnapped. But other than that, there are no revelations, no fights, nothing. So I thought that it was a pretty bland story, but it was decent. I wouldn't say it is bad, but it was not very good also. I will recommend you all to read it, but it would be good for you to also read the original Melnikov series, The Story of Their Parents. I will rate this book 3 out of 5 stars. So that's it for today. I will also appreciate if you could recommend me some spicy and exciting novels. I will be back next week with another review. And if you want the link of the website from where I download my books for free, DM me and I will send you the link. Until then, stay delusional.